Recording. Okay. Um, and I'm not going to pretend to say what he does, but I do want to say he is a very special guest, and that I hope you all, especially, I know some of you, including Patrice and Charlie, and Melissa, of course, Melissa is the membership chair of one of our fabulous clubs. Yes. So you're going to know these folks, I have a feeling, very well.
All right.
And they're looking at a companion club. So I'll let you take it away. But thank you for being here, Patrick. And we are very excited to have you share your particular set of skills with us. So thank you.
Well, absolutely. I really appreciate you, April. I'm really excited about your year next year, and we'll find a way to get the pup over there to the picnic
Mm.
next year. We'll put a little dress on him or something. We'll do something nice and cool. But hey, everybody, I appreciate y'all coming tonight. I think Laura probably got bumped off or something like that, but she'll be back here shortly. And just a little backstory. Um, I am a everyday Rotarian from North Carolina. Back in 2019, I started the first what you now call companion clubs because I coined that term as I was going along trying to help other clubs do this. And has anybody here heard of an impact club before? Anybody? Oh, fantastic. We've done 200 clubs worldwide. Everybody froze up. Can you still hear me, April?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So we started the first Impact Club, and then it's just been off to the races. So what I noticed and what people started calling me for back in 2019 was to help them do what we did. We started what they would call the Satellite Club back then and put 79 members in our home club, um, put it in a Satellite Club, and anything that you do, Satellite or Companion, counts towards your home club membership. And I did it that way to try to help build up our own clubs. We've got a fantastic network of clubs, probably the best that the world has ever seen. And we're dying. We just couldn't figure out a way to turn the membership trend around. As a matter of fact, you guys probably have heard the doom and gloom. This is the only stat that you'll hear me say, but from January of 2015 to January of 2025, we've lost collectively 19, almost 20% of our membership in North America. And I don't think people don't want to be in Rotary. I think that we're just not meeting them where they are. So we started what you would call companion clubs, and I've been doing that for about 6 years now, going on 6 years, and it's just gotten very large. I've just since March 1st, April, I was talking about it the other day, but the the directors asked me, what type of time we spend on this. Since March 1st, I've been on 178 calls.
Wow.
So it's just been absolutely nuts. It's about 4 or 5 calls a night, Monday through Friday, and then on Saturdays as well. The board of directors, all of Rotary's board of directors, voted unanimously to allow us to start this team that's called now affectionately the North American Club Creation Team. And it's a cadre that operates interzone. So Laura, who is in Indiana, right? Indiana, she might get somebody be working with a club that's out in California. I'm in North Carolina. I might be working with a club that's up there in the great state of Massachusetts and stuff like that. So it's a brand new program, and it's going to be a trial for 2 years. So we're just bringing more people to do it because if I can do close to 200 clubs, can you imagine what 25 of us will be able to do? It's not your typical thing. You don't have to be on the team. You just have to have a specific set of skills to be able to help people do this. So your RC, like I said at the very beginning, Cindy Kish is just she's the best.
Patrick,
Yep.
I don't think everyone knows when RC is or who Cindy Kish
Sorry.
is. So
And
that's
actually,
okay.
I
That's
was a
okay.
little wrong by that because the new title is Rotary Membership Coordinator, RMC. And
Mm.
Cindy Kish is the person in Zone 32, which is all your collective districts in that area. She's in charge of membership for that. And I'm so pleased that she is, because she's a go-getter and a visionary when it comes to membership. So she allowed us to come up and when they had their leadership training in Connecticut, and we talked with her about the program, and then we got with April, and this is just a free service that's available to your entire district to help the clubs if they'd like to form a companion club, a satellite club, a Rotaract club, anything that they would like to do. We do a four-step process and help people navigate those waters. And it'll be very successful and an easy transition for you guys to do. Normally we'll book on QR codes, but April, they released the app today to where the people can just click through the steps, get all the information that they want, and meet with their advisor all the way through the process. So, how many clubs are represented here? Hi, Joanne. How are you? You look like you're at the beach, Joanne.
So what do we have? We have two, four, six,
I wish I
seven.
was,
I
Patrick.
know, I know. Same with me, but that's okay. How's your club doing this year? You guys doing well?
We're doing pretty good. Yeah, actually. We lost some members, but we replaced some, and we've got a little couple the tricks up our sleeve we're going to try shortly to see if we can increase our membership. So hopefully you'll see a big increase.
Well, I love that, and we're here to help in any way. You've got a
Good.
very progressive district governor elect coming in, and I just think it's going to be just a banner year for you guys. One of the things that we do, step one, the reason why I asked the step one was just that. We sit down, you guys book a 15, 20-minute call at your leisure, at your time, and we just chat about what your club is, what you dream for your club, what you'd like to do with your club, and then we tailor make a program for that. A lot of times, if it's not a companion club, we talk a lot about recruiting. It's something that I was blessed with. I know how to do that fairly well. So we'll talk about that. It's just a nice, easy conversation about what you would dream that your club could be. And we help you to get there. So I'm glad to hear that about your club. If you are when you have people that leave, quick question for you. When you have people leave, is it mostly because of life reasons like job change, had a new baby, coaching t-ball or football? I mean, life changes. Is that when you experience a lot of people leaving as well?
Yeah, I would say probably that's the biggest reason that people leave.
One of the things, the reason why I asked that question is one of the things in a real world situation, one of the things that happens if you have a companion or a satellite or an alternative time, one of these type of things that we do, you will be able to not just use it for growth, giving people choices when they come in. Do you want to serve this way or this way? Which would you prefer? But you would also get the opportunity to have that in your back pocket to save people before they leave. I got a email 2 days ago from the president of the Hickory Rotary Club, and he forwarded me an email from a gentleman who's 20-year Rotarian, and his job was changing all of a sudden. And so he was resigning from the club. And he replied, we're going to miss your service, da 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 da, the whole nine yards. But wait, before we do anything, we're in the process of forming a companion club, an impact companion club, just that does service and stuff like this. Instead of resigning, would this interest you? And the guy's reply was one short sentence, says, I can do that. I'm so excited. I'm in. So it's not just for growth, it's for helping to retain. Because there's just something, remember, I mean, like I said, I don't hold those zone positions. I don't do any of that. I'm just that regular Rotarian. And if somebody said, would you like to be the membership chair? I'm looking over at Melissa right now because she's the membership chair. I think you told me. And I mean, it's not the most attractive thing in the world when somebody says, well, you're going to be our membership chair, but you're going to have to recruit 15 people just to get the break even. And then you have the growth on top of it. It's not like, I mean, that's a really good sales job at that point. If Melissa took that going, woo. So
Melissa's a really good salesperson, so
I love it. Me and her are going to get along. I love it.
I'm not worried about that. Yeah.
That's great. So that's just a good thing to have in your back pocket to be able to save those longtime Rotarians that just can't do it anymore for whatever reason. So it's not just about the growth, it's about the retention portion of it. And I call that the
Absolutely.
engagement
Yeah.
portion of it. Because you can be as engaging and irresistible as a club as you want, but that doesn't change people's lives. And we all have peaks and valleys. So you have to be prepared to be able to offer them a different experience to be able to keep them in. So I appreciate you answering that question, Joanne. I was wondering about that because it's par for the course. Most people don't leave Rotary because they don't like Rotary. Most people leave Rotary because their life changed and it doesn't fit into their lives anymore. So that's another good reason to set a companion, a satellite up, anything you want, cause-based club.
Well, I think too, Patrick, just to add to that,
Sure.
most people don't leave Rotary. They
Mhm.
leave the club.
Yes.
And sometimes it's because there's a life change, but also it's because sometimes the club is not moving in the direction that they would like to see it move.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we have a lot of people that I'll tell you what I hear the most, Joanne, just being straight up with you. I joined for service and now I'm going to the meetings. That's why Impact was
Absolutely.
rang true. We were able to put 79 people on in our first calendar year. And it was because all we did was go out there and sell service. Like Charlie just said, Melissa's a great salesperson. And I have no doubt that she is. But a lot of times in the past, the term selling in Rotary was like a bad word. You know what I mean? They're like, it sounds too selly or, that sort of thing. Well, unless you can sell your vision for your community, you can't take that and transfer that feeling to the person you're talking to about Rotary. I was always really good at being able to say, Joanne, you know, do you think that it's the price you should pay for living in this community to give back to the community through service? The answer is always yes, unless you're like a serial killer or something. The person always says yes. And then I say, can I show you a way that you can do that at your own pace or your own time? And most of the people that we talk to is they're already doing it. Like if you had to go out and recruit 5 or 10 people right now, I guarantee you one of the first things that you think about is who's already doing service, those people that you would think about are already out there in the community doing service in some capacity. So a lot of times I'll get with them and I'll be talking with them, and you guys have probably heard, hey, don't invite them to a meeting, invite them to a service project or a social, right? You guys have heard that. I usually take it a step further. When I'm out there talking with somebody, I'll find out what they do. Oh, I do Humane Society. Be like, great. What do you do? Oh, we do that on Tuesdays. What do you do there? Oh, we do this. We do this. Great. Hey, if I had 2 or 3 people, can we come do service with you? Totally. As soon as I started doing that, it totally disarmed people. They now knew that we were interested in what they were doing in the community. They knew that our club was interested in different things that we might not have heard about before. And it's a lot of fun to find out new things about your community through service that way. So those are the types of things that we go over when we walk people through the steps in the recruiting aspect of it. So it's been a lot of fun. It's beginning to be a lot more fun because if you can imagine, Joanne, how long you been Rotarian?
Uh,
Joanne, how long you been a Rotarian?
I've been a Rotarian almost 20 years,
20 years. Could you imagine us bringing this stuff up 20 years ago?
right? I know.
Yeah, I know.
It would be
Five
unheard of, Patrick.
unheard of. I mean, 6 years ago when I first started it, if there were tar and feathers and a rail, that's where I would have been. It was you're ruining Rotary, it's Rotary Light and all that other stuff. And now a lot of people are coming to it because all you have to do really is ask yourself one question. We have members in our club and we all serve differently. Justin's here. I'm sure he's from a wonderful Rotary club. But Justin,
Yes.
real quick, do you have people that are they they concentrate on the foundation, and then you got some other people that concentrate on like youth exchange, and you got some. We all serve differently inside our Rotary Club, so all you have to do is ask yourself if we're okay with allowing people to serve differently within our club meetings and that sort of thing. Are we okay with allowing other people to serve us just a little differently as well? And if the answer is yes to that, then it's worth a 15-20 minute call to sit down and tell us what you would dream for your club and see if we can't put something together for you. So,
Yeah, Patrick, absolutely agree with you. And that's why I think that one of the things Joanne and I have talked about is about recruiting new members is find out what they're interested, what they're doing, and see how they, as you said, could give to get, do a little something with their organization or do it in conjunction and just see that it's not a one-way street.
I wholeheartedly believe you, and I'm going to take that one more step. Okay. I do something a little differently because I think we've all done it to ourselves, and I'm going to use a generalization here. So if your club's not like that, please don't take offense. But most of our clubs out there, we've painted ourselves into these like four corners. We do the bike race in the fall, we do the golf tournament in the spring, the Christmas program, the backpack program. We do 4 or 5 things that the community knows us for. And that's what the club is. But what they should know us for is what our Rotarians do. Now, I guarantee you every person on this call does service outside of Rotary, right? Somebody's on a board, PTA, some coach, something, right? I challenge you to just ask that question at your next meeting. Just say, I need one thing of participation. I want you to raise your hands if you do any type of service outside of Rotary. And you already know the answer to that. 99.9% of the people get to raise their hand. And then you say, next time you go to that board meeting or anything like that, wear your shirt, your hat, your cape, your pin, whatever you got, and take a selfie. Boom. Like I did at the Humane Society. I grabbed a cutest little doggo, man. I mean, he was so adorable. Not as cute as you, Arnie. I've got a little corgi. He gets jealous over here. So, and I took a selfie and I sent it to my PI chair. And my PI chair posted Rotarian Patrick getting it done at the Humane Society, tagged the Humane Society, go doggos or something. And so I was tagged, the Humane Society was tagged, our club was tagged, and she was smart and sent it to the district as well. Now, all of a sudden, it's all over social media. All of your club members are doing that, and you'll have a list this long of all of the organizations in your community that your Rotarians touch. And I promise you, if you do that for 90 days, you won't be recruiting anymore. People will be calling you going, I had no idea you did work with the Habitat. Absolutely. A lot of our Rotarians do it. Can I sign you up to go with them the next time? I mean, movement and excitement breeds excitement, and that's what we've really kind of got to harness. This is no more work than what you're doing right now. I'm not asking anybody to go and spend an extra 10 hours and do all this other stuff. This is actually what you and your club members are doing right now. So all it is just packaging it up and putting it out there to the public to where they see what your Rotarians are doing. So I'm a big public image means membership kind of guy. And that one thing that I do, that one simple thing that I do shines light on all those other organizations. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a Rotarian, helping everybody in the community. It shows the citizens in the community what an individual Rotarian is doing and what our club is doing. And it's not just those 4 corners. So those are the types of things that we go over when we walk through the steps with folks. Just small little tweaks to shine a little bit more light on what we're doing. And I don't know when it happened, Joanne, but we stopped doing that and it was more concentrated. It switched to more concentrated on what our clubs were doing. And I think maybe that didn't allow a lot of the we're Rotarians. We don't like to shine light on ourselves and pat ourselves on the back. But unless we do that, we can't bring people to our cause and we can't share the vision with them. So I don't know when that happened, but just a small little tweak will help that a lot. So these are the types of things that we go over in companion steps or rebrands. April, we had talked about maybe you have some clubs that would appreciate like a little refresher on some of these little techniques that we've done that have made us successful.
Yeah.
And we don't just hand paper and say, here, go do this. We do it with you. So,
Right.
but I want to introduce you guys to Laura. I've been talking for some great length. You can tell my voice is shot. But Laura is my partner in crime over here. She's from Indiana. And I got to be on stage with her down last year at the Zone Institute in Huntsville. And we just presented it together in Indiana, at all Indiana district conference and multi district conference. And if you think I could talk, she's the only one who can get me to shut up. I can promise you. So Laura, Laura, could you kind of go over like kind of the view of what we do on, through the steps? Would you like to do that?
Well, hey everybody, how you doing?
Good.
Good, good. So, like we have 4 steps right now, and we make sure that everything is consistent. Consistency, continuity, and consensus. 4 steps don't change. It doesn't matter if Joanne's doing it, if Justin's doing it, if Christina's doing it, Patrick's doing it, anybody's doing it. It's all the same. We have the same process, therefore, we get the same results every single time. And anyone can step in and make sure that, like with the step 1, that you can do it just as well as Patrice and Charlie, that type of a thing. But step 1 is really all about what, like Patrick said, what are your dreams? What do you want to accomplish? What is the purpose of your Rotary Club? What would you like to do? And we let you build that up on what exactly it is that you're looking for. And we talk about it. And we really, whether it's one person talking to us about that, we could have 3 or 4 people talking to us about that. But usually lasts about a half an hour. Sometimes it lasts for an hour. If you're satisfied with what the conversation was all about and you're really hyped up, then you can click on a step 2. We don't do that step 2. We don't come to you and say, okay, you are ready for that step 2. No, it's all about step 1 is that conversation that we have and we consult with you. What are you looking for? That's what step 1 is all about. Now, you can continue in a step 1 if you want to bring more people on, but if you feel that you're ready for that step 2, you'll get a link and you can click on that link. Everything that we do, all these steps, is predicated on whether or not you click on it yourself, so you are ready to go. So we're going to have more of a constructive conversation with you again, or maybe you want to bring 3 or 4 other people in. If it's district governor line, president line, president-elect nominee, membership chairs. But what we do there is we overcome objections. How many times have you heard objections from clubs that say, oh, well, we'll lose members if we get another club in there. We're going to lose members. You know what? People like choices. It's a proven fact in this system that you will actually gain members in the, let's call it a host club, just as much, maybe if not more, as you do in the companion or the impact club. People love a choice. But this second step is very important because what we are doing is we are answering every objective you have. Every single objective that old curmudgeon may have on your board that says, well, we've never done it that way. We've done it this way for 25 years.
Hey, Laura, let me ask you a question real quick. Anybody on this call have a back table at their club?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The reason why you go through the steps here, and some of you, by the looks of you, might be participants in that back table. No, I'm just teasing. But what that does is what Laura was saying.
Mhm.
I've done it 1,400 times. I've had step twos. I know the objections that are coming. I've live document with the top 20 objections that come, and we just sit there and address those as we can. But go ahead, Laura. I just wanted to ask if
Yeah.
anybody had a back table.
And that's a perfect point because we all have had or do have a back table. But if we have to go through step 2 a couple, 2, 3 times, that's okay. Because we want you and we want the person who's contacting us to feel comfortable. We want all of those questions answered. We want everything to where you feel great and you're ready to go. Not everybody's ready to do the objection part. That's a little dicier, because people can be little stinkers. And when that group is ready, they can go to step 3. Step 3 is like the wow fireworks of everything, because this is where we're going to show you how to recruit. We're going to put you in all these little buckets. And what kind of group are you looking for? What are you missing? What is it and what group can we get to bring into the club? We're guiding you through that entire process and giving you that structure on how to do all of that. Now, Patrick, I've not been in very many 3s, so I'm not necessarily the expert on that. Dear Lord, don't tell anybody that, because I don't think I can handle it if my husband knew I wasn't an expert, because I tell him I am all the time. So unmute, if you would, and give them a little bit more detail on 3 when you're able to.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's happened over the last 5 years, and April did it too. She got a QR code to book a step 1. And then we got on the step 1. And then as soon as she got off, she got an email that says, if your club's ready to book a step 2, book a step 2, da 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 da. This has gotten so big that what we did is we put the steps that I've done into an app form. It's not just on an app on your phone. You can go to the desktop and do it. Okay, create an account and do it. So you guys are like one of the first people that I'm showing. It'll hit the App Store next week. It's still testing, but it'll hit before Calgary. Okay, and you'll be able to, when you come in, you'll just make an account and book a step 1. It won't allow you to book a step 2 or step 3 or step 4. You book a step 1. You meet with the person, you get promoted to a step 2. Inside these buttons over here, inside these things are things that you might need. Bylaws. So when you first come in, we know exactly after our step 1, we know exactly what kind of club you want, and it automatically gets inserted. This one's just showing you a couple of different ones. It's a test. So you might have Rotaract stand bylaws or the Constitution or different forms for the club types and formats or fact sheets or anything like that in there. So you'll have your resources behind there. When you get to a step 3, it really becomes fun. Step 1 is the most inspiring, because I get to hear about your club, and just it really is inspiring to me. Step 2 is the toughest, because we bring those people that might have a little bit of an issue with it, and that sort of thing, and we talk with them, and we might have to have 2 to 3 step 2s if you need to. But step 3 is really becomes fun. Like Laura was saying, we go over bucketing. We do some of the things that I was just talking about, how to use public image to get those people. We micro focus on targeted audiences that you're going to go after based on your club type, meeting time, the whole ball of wax, tried and true. We declare how many people we want to have for our founding members, and we declare what day we want to have your induction palooza. And it might be a social that you're doing. It might be a DG visit. Who wouldn't want to induct 15 people in front of April when she DG visits you? Wouldn't that be cool? We take a look at that. And what we've done is we've stated we're going to get this many people by this date, and this is how we're going to do it. So we work with you on the recruiting aspect of it and how to do it. The average time it takes one of the clubs in the program to get their founders from the time that they start the step 3 is 23 days. That's it. I mean, that's all it takes. It's because you guys already know it. We're just packaging up a little bit differently to allow you to go ahead and bring these folks on board. So step 3 is a lot of fun. And I call it 4 steps, but it's really 3 steps and a party, because number 4.
And by the way, just so everyone's clear, I will come and I will bring cake to anyone who starts a companion club or whatever, any club. I will be there with cake.
Well,
I like cake.
I'll be there for cake too. But one of these things is, you know what the great part about that is you don't do any of the paperwork. We do all of the paperwork for you. You don't have to do a single bit of the paperwork for Rotary International. It automatically does anybody know where the satellite club application is in Rotary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wish I didn't.
Yeah. Can you get there in less than 17 clicks? You know what I mean? So what happens here, what we were doing before, when you get to a step 3, okay, there's a button on here where you can even send an application. So if I'm talking with Joanne and I'm in step 3 and she's like, oh my God, I love that idea, I want to join. I just click send application and I put your first name, your last name, your email and phone number, and it sends you the application for them to fill out. And they go directly on RI's sheet that goes to data. And because we put in what type of club you want to do, it automatically installs the application inside the system, and it fills the application form out for you as we're going along the steps. And when we get to step 4, all we do is click download into DocuSign, and it goes out to you guys, DocuSign, where you click and sign, and it goes straight to club and district support. I mean, we have really streamlined this process. We don't want you to have to think about any of that stuff. We do it for you. It's free of charge. We made this to help our clubs do this. So that's basic. Yeah.
Will that then sync with Club Runner for us?
It won't. I'm one of the owners of DACDB, but I came to DACDB later, and this isn't even hooked up to them. I wanted this 100% siloed. So no matter what system you were on, even if you were in Europe and you were on some other system, these are the 4 steps. So that's what we do. I want to make sure that it was accessible to every single person that's out there. One last thing on this. If you're in step 2, in between step 2 and step 3, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, if you have a question, all you have to do is click this box up here and you can message your team member that you were last on with. So you don't have to go and email them. You can go, hey, I'm meeting with my board and they had this one question and I can't remember. Boom, we message you right back and let you know what the deal is. So you have a constant communication with the person who's working with you to help move it along for you. Do you have any questions for that?
Yeah, I think Charlie had a question.
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah, so it doesn't sync with Club Runner, but anybody who goes through the process and fills in the application automatically gets put into the RA database. Is that what I heard you say?
Boom. And then if you're on Club Runner, after you do it, it will, if you're on RI Direct, no matter what system you're on, when it goes into RI databases, it will push those members down to your system.
Oh,
right. That's what I think
thought
I meant is it will.
it will show up in Club Runner then. It comes back up.
It will. Yep. Just not before when you do the thing and we send the application in, CDS approves the club, then they turn the data over to data services at Rotary. They put everybody in. The good part about this is that the form that it drops it in is in the exact form and the exact order that data puts people in. So it is like so simple for them to do. They put them in. it generates an RI number. And then because you sync with Rotary through Club Runner, it pushes those people down. And all you have to do is go, yep, we accept them. And that's it. It's pretty cool. So that's the reason why I didn't want it siloed to one system or another. I wanted everybody to be able to use this. I just think it's a good program, and it doesn't matter who.
Is this system available on a web page now?
Yes, sir. Well, I just showed you what I just showed you was web page. It's
Yeah.
called a web app. You'll be able to use it on your phone, both iPhone and Android. What I just showed you, or you can use it on your desktop or iPad or whatever. It'll be clubcreationteam.org. Please don't go and sign up yet, because I've still got my test clubs in there. So over the next couple of days,
Patrick,
I know. But I couldn't wait. You guys were the perfect group to say,
Well, we
look.
have, I'm in Joanne and I and Melissa are all in the same club.
Oh,
And-
cool.
And we got some creative ideas that Melissa's been cooking up. I mean, when we were at Pell's April, we talked about going after younger members, but we're not going after younger members. We're going after older members. And it's mainly because the older group, the retired people, the people that are living, they might have moved out of their house, their families might be gone. I don't want to say they're living in, what's the better term? They're not assisted living. They're not assisted living. They're in retirement communities or independent living.
Yeah.
And they have time on their hands. And we have our first meeting tomorrow, Joanne, Melissa, and I. And Melissa's going to present the idea of a companion club to this group. And what we found out at our investigative meeting was that these people are looking for things to do.
I know.
And there's 3 or 4 of these in our community that we could get 40 members in the first 3 or 4 months. And they're all going to be operating on their own as, I guess, companion clubs is a better way to say it now. They're not really satellite club. We're calling it generational club. That's the name you came up with. Generations. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just going to be, anything can be a companion. I didn't like the word satellite. Every time I started to talk to a board about it, I'd go, it's a and they would murder me right there. I couldn't even get to the objections. They would just be like, no, Bob had a bad experience. And you're like, oh my gosh, so one day I was on the phone and with them and I was like, no. This is a companion of your own club. And all of a sudden they just laid down. I was like, that's what I mean. Actually, Rotary told me that I wasn't allowed to use that term about 1.5 years ago. And right before I went to Melbourne, and I was like, no, thank you. And we just kept on doing it. And now if you go to their fact sheet, it says companion over to the side. So things change. But I think that's a great idea. One of the reasons why I did an impact club, which is service-based, is because, and I think you're smart to doing it the way that you're doing it there. I was going to do an educators club. I started doing this whole thing because my wife could not join my club. She couldn't come to 65% of the Friday at noon meetings because she was a teacher.
Right.
I mean, she's teaching, but this woman gave more hours than 10 of our Rotarians in our regular club combined. So I was bound and determined to find something that I could do, but I was going to do like an educators club, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't specifically target anybody. So I wanted the biggest piece of pie that I could. So if you ask 99 people, do you think it's your responsibility to give back through service as the price paid for living in the community? 99% of them are going to say yes. And then you go on from there. And then what happened when I did that is that each group wound up doing it. Like I brought in the teachers and they do the student teachers, and I brought in people. There's a big group that does animal causes. There's another big group that's in there that does performing arts. I let them cook where they want to cook, and they build sets and act as ushers, and that's their service back to the community, is to do that. So as you're thinking about that, think about, that kind of general term. Like you said, I don't like targeting specific folks, but the young people will come if you do something like that. We have, in my club, I think it's 40-something% of the entire district's under 30s. and we have 26 or 27% of our districts under 40s. Because we don't specifically, we just service. And that spans generations, it spans
You
genders.
talk about their age?
Excuse me?
You talk about their age?
Yeah, their age, their gender, anything. So if but your idea about the I won't call them retirement communities either. It's the not assisted living, independent living facilities that are there. I'm seeing a lot of those pop up because you will have a continuous people are always moving into those things and getting involved. It would be a wonderful cause-based club companion that you can do. And if that one works, then you can add another cause-based companion at the other one and another cause. You can have as many as you want to be able to do that. Very interesting and
Just like Melissa.
good model. Good model.
So let me ask about the elephant in the room, dues.
Sure. I knew it was coming. You remember when I told you that I was look at Laura? She's like, you remember I was telling you I had the 20 objections. It's a live document. Number 1 is money.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 through 20 is listed as something else, but it all has to do with money. It's going to cannibalize
We have a meeting tomorrow to the residents of our first potential companion club.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to address this. So
I think it's great.
How do you address that?
Okay. Well, first of all, you've got Rotary International dues and district dues.
Mm-hmm.
That's without a doubt. It's going to be anywhere in that one, depending on what your district dues is. It's going to be anywhere
170
Yeah.
between the two.
170 is cost. My cost when I first did this was around 130, so I did 180. Now everybody's like, "What?" I'm like, "We don't have any additional cost. It doesn't cost anything for us to do service. We don't pay for a place. We don't do anything like that. We're making $50 per, so we have some type of operating and it's so it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have 80 people, that's a good little chunk of change when you don't have any cost.
Right.
Most of the clubs out there will do 240 or 300. There's depending on the area. Some do a little bit more than that. But I always ask you to think about the marketability of it. So I use 240. 240 is how much a month?
$20
a month. When I did mine, it was $15 a month. I used to say it's $15 a month. It's the cost of Netflix. Now, whether or not you bill monthly, it doesn't matter. It's $15 a month. It's the cost of Netflix. We bill quarterly and move on. But people hear monthly payment. That's what it's conditioned now to do that. As a matter of fact, I gave my members the opportunity to pay monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. And 38% of them just paid for it up front. And the other portions chose monthly. And it was automatic payments. So I never had to chase money. Now, we don't ever tell you how much to do because each club is autonomous. I can just offer you advice, counsel, best practices, that sort of thing. I do have a club that's in Orlando, downtown Orlando, that pays that's $600 a year. It's $50 a month, and they don't have a problem down there with that at all. So totally up to you. We just give you the best practices, sir.
Christina has her hand up. Go ahead, Christina.
Thank you. Curious if starting a Rotaract club would fall under this model, and if you have any advice for that.
Yeah.
College.
Matter of fact, we turned in paperwork today to charter a standalone Rotaract in Anchorage, Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole thing goes, whatever club you want to do, satellite, companion. We'll even have, the only thing that's not on here right now is Interact. That'll come in a second iteration at the beginning of July. But we're even working on a community-based Interact club to be able to get homeschool kids. And there's, how tough it is to try to find advisors and stuff like that. So we're working on a lot of those different things. But yes, the Rotaract clubs are there, whether it's cause-based or university-based. We do the same procedure.
Okay, thank you.
Christina,
And a Rotaract club would be part of our membership
That's unfortunate. Now, I've been battling, and since she's recording this, I'll say, hi, Rotary.
Going on YouTube, so
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know, Rotaract is near and dear to my heart, but they have not been, the program has not been, and it's no fault of the Rotaractors. We have not figured out a way to make that the bridge that it was supposed to be. You know, you've got your young professionals and then the bridge over to the Rotary Club. It just hasn't, it's sub 5%. Some say it's sub 4% conversion. Whereas the companion club model that we've been doing over the first 32 months, it's 12.2% who come into the companion wind up in the home club. So that's just a little bit away from what your total attrition usually is. And now all of a sudden you've got a feeder that takes care of that every single year. So I'm working on, Christina, I'm working on that. It's one of the big things that I'm pushing hard to be able to do a cross Rotary Rotaract type of deal. But right now the council legislations and the excuse me, policies and procedures will not allow that. So, but here's the other thing. In my club, I have a junior college that's here,
Mhm.
and I don't cede anything to that. If they're 18 of good moral character or in school, and why wouldn't I want them with me? We have the best leadership training on the planet. We forget to tell people that,
We do.
right? We
Good
forget to
point.
tell people about with the best leadership training. I want them in our club. I want them doing service with the people that they're going to be talking to in 2, 3, 4 years for jobs, for advice. You know, and I want them to learn leadership through the people that are in their community right then and there. So, those people would count for that. But I could share with you some best practices about attracting that type of people. What other questions we got? Y'all got me fired up tonight.
Patrick, I just wanted to layer onto that. I highly encourage anyone to look at community-based Rotaract clubs for your communities because well, first of all, we only have one Rotaract club, period. I think two now. We're working on the second, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you're working on one.
We're working on one. But, you know, most of our communities don't have colleges in them. So, you know, we're losing that whole 17 to 25 probably age range, you know. So if you're going from, even if you have an Interact, which a lot of our clubs don't, we're not seeing people again probably until they're 25, 30 years old. So, you know, look at the community-based Rotaract. You know, that's a great way also if you do have kids coming right out of college at 22 and they really want to give back, but they really are strapped for cash. Was it $8 a year, the dues, I believe, for Rotaract community-based?
Can I just
Um,
jump in really quick about
yeah.
the
Please,
Rotaract?
Patrice.
So I've asked 3 different ways about that with my club because in what you guys know, West Hartford, we had St. Joseph's College, we have
Mhm.
UHart right there, Central is down the street, we have and then Tungsis is the other way, you know, so we're surrounded by colleges, and on our board we have the athletic director of UHart. So, and then we have someone else a faculty member from UHart. So I've asked, hey, why don't we make this happen? And I was told, especially at UHart, the students have to drive it. Like they have to organize it. They have to come up with the idea and then get an advisor on campus that have to attend it. So it's like, I'm getting a lot of pushback of how the school decides to allow it, if you will, not so much as like, oh, we can just go in there. And then when I ask about dues, when I say this to like the club as a whole, like, well, like, how does the dues look? They're like, well, they're going to be paying similar dues that we're paying. Oh, you want a college kid to pay 100 and how much?
No,
it's $8.
So if you guys could like give me more clarity, that would be helpful because I would
$5 a
love
year,
to tap into that.
Patrice.
Yeah, it's
So-
$5 a year plus the magazine that gets waived too. So if you want to pick one of those colleges, book a step one, we'll start to help you walk through, get those answers done for you,
Yeah.
whatever you need.
Make an appointment with Patrick. He'll help you.
Mhm.
Hey,
So-
can I jump in and say something?
Yeah, Joanne.
Hey, so when we were out at the Interact conference, April, we had some people there, and I did a talk at the end with some of the Interact advisors from Rotary, and a lady was there from Tungus Community College, Patrice, and she said, "You want a Rotaract club at Tungus Community College? I could get that packed with people right away." So that might be somebody that we should reach out to and might be in your
Yes.
area.
Yes.
And then, because, students go there all summer.
Right.
And then and then your full-time students will pop up again in September. So that could be a really great resource right there. And I have that lady's name and email address.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I would like to be in contact with her because I think that's
Okay.
an untapped area. I mean, we just started Interact. That's the high schoolers with one of the high school. But
What's your club?
West Hartford.
Oh, West Hartford. Awesome. Yeah.
I do.
Hello, cutie. How are you?
Okay.
That's
Say, in the best guy.
I
Melissa,
think Melissa, yeah, had a
yeah,
question.
Melissa has her hand up.
She's got cute pups.
Because we're presenting tomorrow to residents at an assisted living.
Hmm.
And I do know that in this one, they happen to maybe not have as many financial challenges, but in general, a lot of older adults really are on a fixed income and have no options to make more money, and everything else goes up. And so if there is any flexibility, because I keep hearing that we would have to charge our regular rate, but
Yeah.
we'll get so many more people if the money isn't an obstacle.
Yeah.
Is there any flexibility?
Melissa, that's up to you and your board. And that's what usually happens. I mean, if I didn't have the money objection, we'd have 2,000 of these clubs, but I almost got kicked out of my district conference because I walked in for the first day that said membership and then had a line and then it said money, membership over money. I'm going every August. I send out an email to my club members and I say, if I'm out there recruiting and I find somebody that can give us their time and their talent, they just don't have the treasure. Do I got some people? I get 9 to 15 people go done. So I keep those in my back pocket. I use maybe 2 or 3 a year and that's it. But no, that's between you and your club. As long as the Rotary International dues and the district dues are paid, anything above that is your club's decision. Now, your club is going to argue that for 2 reasons. Okay. First, if they're making money off their lunches if you don't show up. That model is still out there and it's horrible. I mean, it really
we don't
is.
do that.
So if you don't do that, the other reason why they will argue on the money portion is because they're afraid that they'll lose members coming to their meetings to go to the cheaper option. That's the scared cannibalization thought, the whole 9 yards. Look at all of these puppers. I'm gonna have to get my fat corgi up here. I did not call you fat baby, sorry. But it's that's where that right there scares a lot of people, but it doesn't happen. The people that would move are the people that you were going to lose anyway that year. They were just waiting to tell you. And the other one is you're probably going to go, well, we haven't seen Bob in like a year and a half. Maybe this following the 4-way test, maybe this would be a better option for Bob if we took the pressure off of him. So it's usually the club saying that, or you're get those 1 or 2 people that you knew had the 1 foot out the door. And you know what? You just saved them. You just retained them. Look at all these pups. I love this. This is like the greatest meeting I've ever been on.
So Melissa, you said you're going to go present this option to the assisted living or adult community.
To the residents.
I'm probably not far from there myself, so I better start being
I
nice
can't wait
about
till I
that.
get there.
But are you talking about an impact club, a companion club? What kind are you trying to talk to them about?
Companion club, and it is, Joanne thought of a good title, Generations, because
Beautiful.
we picture it interact with our club and having all ages get together, because in our society, for some reason, they isolate different age groups, which doesn't really give the benefit and value of our different ages. And so yes, we talked to this the administrators of the assisted living. They love the idea. And now we're going to present to the residents to see if they're interested and as excited as we think they will be.
Mhm.
And then we figure the only objection might be the money. And, you know, we plan on saying if it's a challenge for anybody here, we will look for solutions, and like maybe the assisted living can chip in and make the difference because they make a lot of money. And they have a budget for some of these things. So, you know, we're just going to feel out what the right solution is.
Yeah, one of the things that Melissa that you could do tomorrow is if we had, would you? If we had this idea, let me paint you this picture, this vision that we had. And if we had, would you? Because then you're not making a 100% commitment. You're asking them if this vision that you guys have, which by the way, legit name, great idea, just perfect. You know, you'll get a lot of people saying yes. And then the part is going back to the board of directors at your club and saying, guys, we talked with them. We had 20, 25 people that said that they would love to do this, but the price has got to be right. You know what I mean? So you've got Rotary International dues and district dues being X amount of dollars. These people are not going to cost us anything. And if they want to do a project, they can do a little fundraiser if they want to do a big project or something. But, you know, just keep it as minimal as you can. And go from there. And if your board agrees to it, then you can go back to the other people and say we've set upon a price. But I would keep it because it'd be too quick for you to get board approval and talk the money thing before you talk with them tomorrow. So I would paint the picture because I've talked most of the time, but when you guys talked on this thing, I was like, man, that's awesome. I mean, what a great idea, and inspired me. So I would paint that picture from them and then ask for soft commitments. If we had this, would you? And if it was affordable, very inexpensive for you to participate in this and receive all the benefits of being a full Rotarian, would you consider this? And then you're taking that and going to the board. We can add 20 people on if this is where we are money-wise. So you're going to have to do that little part of the negotiation portion. But Melissa, I got faith in you, Joanne, Charlie here.
And you're going to grow your club's membership. You're going to grow your club's membership. So you're going to be
people count as your members.
25.
Yep.
That will grow your club, making more of an impact within the community.
April, I have a question, April. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Laura, but
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I mean, this sounds a little far-fetched. You can, you know, but can we get a district grant to support dues for these type of clubs?
You can't. I'm dealing with that right now. I've got a club.
Not a district grant, like from DDF, but it doesn't mean the district can't financially support these clubs, just not through DDF.
How would we do it?
Yeah.
So we could be creative and offer like a discount for the first year or something for companion clubs or something like that on the district side. I'm not committing to that, but I'm saying that's something we could go to the finance committee with, you know, and say, hey, could we do this to encourage membership? You know what I mean? But remember too, if you're looking at these assisted living places, I know I just moved my grandmother into one of them. They're paying like $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month, 15, 20 bucks a month. Like, I'm, you know, like if we're looking at it monthly, I don't know. Like some of, yeah, like that demographic, I don't know, like, but anyways, yes, we can, but we just have to make it
What are you
across the
saying you
board.
don't- What are you saying you don't know? You don't,
Like,
you
I
think
don't
they
see
have
it
the money
being,
to do it?
yeah, I'm thinking they
Okay.
probably have the money if they're paying, if it's an out-of-pocket private pay place, they probably have,
The
you
money
know, an
to pay,
extra
yeah.
15, 20 bucks a month, you know what
Yeah,
I
that's
mean?
nothing compared to what they're paying. My point is this, and I just want to make sure that I understand what you're saying, Patrick. So number one, we've got to cover the district and Rotary's dues.
Yeah.
We can't go out and ask our district to pay Rotary's dues and waive the district dues for these folks. We might possibly be able to go back to our club and say, we're not going to ask, we're asking you if we could reduce our dues to the flat amount of district and RI with
Mhm.
no additional amount.
Which would be about $15 a month then for these folks. At
Mhm.
180, it's $15 a month, and
Right.
170, yeah.
So that would take like, I don't know, $60, $70 away from the club for each one of those people. We wouldn't have that income. How do we make up that income? That's something we need to try to figure out how we would do that.
There's a couple of things that I do in the process to help shortfalls, to help foundation giving without having to go after the people. One of the worst things in the world is getting beaten up for money all the time.
Right,
I
right.
found out that I was a foundation giver when I got my bill the first time. I was like, what's this? So there's a lot of things that I do, fun things that we do, that don't put pressure on people. So if you find that shortfall, we can do that. But April left the door open there, Charlie.
Yeah, I heard her.
And I'm just saying. No, I mean, it's very tough because a lot of the districts right now are, as we reduce the amount of people that we were in our district, the reduced income, and they try to do the same amount of things with less money every single year. And I know that's you know, that's a harp that we listen to all the time. But realistically, we can find a way to help people at $15 a month and $20 a month out there to do it. I would rather than be a full Rotarian than to do anything else. I'd rather them feel part of your club, instead of maybe another option that's out there. I haven't had a problem getting the people in that wanted to get in. I guarantee you, if you had 25 people and 17, 15, 16, 17 said, yeah, that's no problem, $15 a month, whatever, I got it, no problem. And you had 10 people that wanted to serve and they didn't, I guarantee you, if you sent an email out to your folks and said, hey, this is it, because they're going to be excited that they're going to get this many people in, bringing this in. And you said, hey, can we scholarship a couple of these people? Would anybody do? Guarantee you people would do just like they do with mine and say, let me sponsor somebody because somebody did it for me when I was younger, that sort of
Pay
thing.
it forward.
I don't have an issue with going in and saying our dues are $235 because that's what they are. We have one of
Right.
the lowest dues around.
Wow, $235 for the year. That's amazing.
Well,
Good.
everybody pays for their own lunch, and pays for
Yeah.
certain things. So I don't have a problem with that and see if it's a barrier. If it's a barrier, then we'll
There
worry
you go.
about it.
Yep. Okay. Well, there you go.
And I can tell you, Charlie, what we do, we pay 170, so we just do the minimum, but we fundraise as a club through stuff that's not tax deductible. And in that situation where they're in like, that type of thing, like there's creative ways they could fundraise to cover like the extra, you know what I mean? Like they could do like penny bingo to like raise money or something, you know what I mean? Like in the facility, like as a fundraiser. So I mean,
In their own facility.
in their
Yeah,
own
and maybe
facility.
they need to, I don't know. Is that in our long-term plan that they come up with some fundraisers
I would think so, Joanne. I would
to help
think-
mean-
cover some of their costs?
Yeah, it could be real
Here,
low
I'm going to play
pressure.
devil's advocate here.
Yep.
You've got an organization that has a lot of older members in it. You've got a club that has a lot of older members in it. So when these older members hear that the older members that are living in the assisted living facility paying 10, 12, $15,000 a month to live there are getting their dues waived, and this other group who can't afford to go live in the assisted living facility are having to pay the full bill. My concern is that someone will get upset, and in the end, we could virtually lose these folks. So I think it's a fine line we're walking right here, and I think April and I had this conversation earlier. We want to make sure that we are being fair to all concerned. Number 2 on the 4-way test. Sorry that my phone is ringing.
No, I think that's a great point. And just like what Charlie just said, hit him at the 235. It's $20 a month. That's what it is. It's $20 a month. And if you guys are gonna have plenty of people that say, I want to do that.
I have a question about how it actually works with the main clubs. So these companion clubs and impact clubs, right? So the home club, if you want to call it that, they're the ones like our treasury is keeping and controlling and working with all the finances for it. And then are we asking one person from these companion clubs or impact clubs to be a part of like being a part of the treasure? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, how do they know where the money is? Who's in charge of it? Is it the home club? How does that work?
Yep, you're I think Laura just
Laura was raising her hand, but then she disappeared. I wanted to hear what she had to say.
I think she might have said that she was going there, but by Rotary Club Constitution, each companion or satellite club can have its own full board. I've only had that one time. You're only required to have a chair and a named secretary, even if the home club secretary is taking care of it. So they keep it as simple as you possibly can. So your treasurer is going to do the treasurer work. They're going to bill those people just like they bill everybody else in your thing. They're going to pay. Everybody's happy. And then the only thing I suggest is you invite the chair of the companion to your board meeting virtually or there. And it's, nice and easy for them to do. There's Laura's picture.
I think what we're gonna have to do, Pat, is these are people who probably haven't been introduced to Rotary. We're gonna have to have someone in our club kind of be there in the beginning. I think the first year as a Rotary member is you're the most vulnerable to want to stay or go. And we have to show that they belong to the club, that it's fun to be part of the club and they get something out of it. So we're going to, at least we've talked about how we're going to handle that. We expect to get 2 or 3 of these clubs. And just having somebody as a chair who's just as new as everybody else is going to need guidance somehow, even if they come to our meetings. So somebody in our club is going to step up or have to step up and help them and be part of them and invite them to us, that type of thing. That's how I would see that working, at least. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree, Charlie.
Yeah. Guys, I think that's great. If you cross do that, most of your members, if they're doing a project, they get invited to them and they'll go over there. But these people have been doing this their whole lives. This is going to be a nice little outlet for them, and try to slow them down is going to be your toughest part. They're going to want to do this and they're going to want to do this, and they're going to invite your club members to come to service project, and your club members are going to go and they're going to be like, oh my God, this is so fun. And it re-energizes everybody. But I think, although you do have to provide some of the structure to it, that's the last thing that winds up happening in a lot of these. And I would say
their own, they can have their own meetings. I mean, like if they want to have a meeting once a month or twice a month, they set all that structure, correct?
Yep, that's what they do.
Yep. Okay.
All right, guys, we're way over. Patrick,
Yeah.
thank you for the extra time. I don't want to cut anybody off, but what I would like to do is point you all to the chat. I don't want you to leave yet. Go to the chat. Patrick put his information in there. So please go there, get the link, set up a time to talk to him about your specific situation, please. I will copy it and send it out to the group, but I think you should call or click there right now and make yourself a appointment. Sorry, I'm just pasting, so I can't talk. clearly. Um,
I love it.
anyways, I didn't want to cut you guys off because it's a great conversation, but I also want to value everyone's time. So, any parting thoughts, Patrick? I know we lost Laura.
No, I think that you guys have got this down pat. It's just whatever we can do to help shape, take the burden off of you, paperwork wise, do all those other types of things, use as a resource. We'd love to help you any way we can.
And
it's worth
when am
15
I
minutes.
going to get on the app, Patrick?
I will tell you what, I will send you by Friday an invite to download the app. It's really cool. It has all the information there you guys will need.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's it.
I
Yeah.
don't see
Well,
tax information in the chat. April.
Yeah.
oh, you don't see
Yeah,
it?
I can't see it in there. I don't know where it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll send out an email with a link to the recording for everyone, and I will include it in that. Okay.
All right, that'll be
Okay, sounds
perfect.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Patrick, especially for your time. And I'm so glad to see all the enthusiasm for this. And I know the folks who weren't here will be just as enthused, just not one-on-one. So to all of them, thank you for your enthusiasm as well. So have a great night, everyone.
This one.
Charlie, let me know how it went. Joanne, let me know how it went. Okay, guys?
Absolutely.
Hey, Ben, by the way, hi,
Thank you.
Ben.
Thank you, everybody. Hi, Vinny.
Charlie.
Bye.
Everybody. I
Hi,
got
Ben.
some
Have a great
ideas.
night.
I got some ideas, April. I'm going to be in touch with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, all. Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye. Bye, guys.
All right.